Welcome to Art Studio. I'm Lisa Lowell, and today we're taking a seemingly mundane letter tray and transforming it with decoupage. And I'm really pleased to welcome Nikki Smith back into the studio. She's full of great ideas always.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Hi. So we're doing decoupage today.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Let's dig in.
So what you're going to do is you're going to go to your local craft store and you're going to find a letter tray, an unfinished letter tray.
Okay.
And you're going to, you have these kind of trays, or you have a letter tray. They come in different sizes and shapes and sizes. They have, this one we're going to go ahead and just sand it up a little bit with your standard fine sandpaper.
Okay. Great.
And you just fold it.
So you've already folded
Yes.
one, and I use that one.
You just fold it down to a comfortable size. You're just going to sand around the edges to where, you know, if there's any rough edges.
Splintery things or anything.
Yes,
okay.
you just want to smooth them out. There we go.
Great.
And you're going to use just a damp cloth to get the excess sawdust
Ah,
off.
that's a good idea. I was thinking of
Just a real damp, just real damp.
okay.
And just get the excess
Great.
sawdust off. There we go. Because when we paint it, or when we put on our art, we don't want any kind of bumps. We want it as smooth as possible.
You don't want wood chip art.
Yes. Although that could be something else.
Yeah, no, get the juices flowing, right?
There you go. All right.
Always on to the next project, right, Nikki?
Okay, yep. All right, so you just kind of want to brainstorm a little bit ahead of time. What I did with my project is I had cut out a bunch of different flowers and butterflies. I'm making a gift for my friend. She needed a jewelry holder. So what we're going to do is we're going to transform this letter tray into a jewelry holder.
Great, love it.
And I kind of looked through the magazines and found pictures and things that I know she likes and words that I know will speak to her. So I just kind of made like a, just a, kind of like a scrapbooky type of art. And what I did is I laid it all out and then I took a picture of it.
Oh,
And then I printed
there you
it
go.
out.
That's a great
so that
idea.
I could have an idea of what I'm looking at and where I kind of wanted them.
So you know you have enough and you know
Yes.
where it's going to go. That's really
Yes.
smart. I've only ever done this where you just start and then inevitably there's holes and
Yeah.
something you want doesn't fit. And
Yeah, and then
Great.
What I liked as well is to paint a base coat
okay,
first.
we have some just acrylic paints,
Yes,
right?
just
Regular?
a standard acrylic paint. You want to kind of pick the theme that you're going with, whether it be like a leopard print or a floral print,
Okay.
or a kind of a kitty kind of print if it's for a child. You can pick any colors. With this one, I picked a Wedgwood green and a mango. 'Cause
Pretty.
They're kind of very springy, very floral colors, and they kind of go with all of my florals. That's a great color. Love her.
So you could paint, you don't necessarily have to paint the tray, right? You could just start.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can start just the bare. I like to paint it first so that in case you do have holes, like you mentioned, and you have your extra magazine clippings, the paint will show through. There's not the wood showing through.
Yes. So
But if you want to go with the wood showing through, that could be another effect as well.
and decoupage has been around a long time, hasn't
Yes.
it? Years and millions, probably hundreds of years,
Yeah.
really. And can you get really intricate with the designs?
I think you can. I think it's depending on your creativity and the time.
How much X-Acto knife time
Yes.
you want to use, right?
Yes.
To
So here we're just
Cut
going
things
to take
out.
some scrapbook paper and I'm going to measure it. Which is
and I see that you have all kinds of scrapbook, really papered books
yes.
that have all kinds of different
yes. I could
papers. Wow.
have my own art store.
So I like that idea. I think I'm going to take that idea instead of painting the bottom. Maybe do a piece of paper so that I can cover my wood.
Yep. I have some.
Oh yes,
if
when I
can
take one
look
that's
through
already
those.
out. Perfect. Great. good use of all the junk mail we get too, right?
Yes.
And magazines that we think we want, but then
Yes.
we really don't get around to reading always.
Yes. I can't have a garden, so make one. My cute
Yes,
little
exactly.
wood tray.
Okay, so this will be a little bit like wrapping a present. Okay, Barbara said yes. How did you get started crafting?
Well, I was in junior high, and my mom would drag me to her crafting classes. And she had started off doing tulle painting and folk art painting at a
Really?
local shop in our town where we're from.
And where's that?
Northern California,
Okay.
up by Yosemite is where I'm from. Real
Nice.
small town, so you always have to find creative things to do.
Keep yourself out of trouble.
Yes. So my mom would drag me, and I would sit and watch all these ladies sit around the table and do these crafts. And I was like, I think I could do this. So
Is there
I
anything in
started,
particular that sort of spoke to you the most when you started?
the painting, the decorative painting, transforming, pieces of nothing, just wood, and making it into this cutesy little thing. That was my favorite.
That's nice.
Did some ceramics back then, just painting ceramics, not making them. And then I got into jewelry with my grandmother. She got me making jewelry.
Nice.
And-
That's always a good little skill to
Yeah.
have.
And-
And I've seen some of your, we were lucky enough to have you show us on another episode of Art Studio your wonderful Scrabble tile necklaces, which
Yeah.
are so great,
That was
pretty,
fun.
and popular right now too.
Yes. We had, that started off as just an idea for Christmas presents.
Great.
And-
Took off.
Yes.
And now you've had them, I know, in some local craft fairs. You now live here in the South Bay in Torrance, and
Yes.
you have appeared in a couple of different local fairs, which is
Yes.
great. So our viewers can find you easily. Now, what if you have little bubbles? What do you do to get the bubbles out?
You just
I have
want
a few
to, you want
bubbles.
to take them and just kind of smooth them out.
Okay.
Just start where they are and just kind of smooth them out to the edge as
Okay.
much as possible.
Does the thickness of the paper matter for this kind of project?
No?
Or could you use fabric? Or,
Yes.
but maybe sealing. I'm thinking you'd need a lot of coats possibly to cover what you're doing there.
Yes. Yes, you would.
So we have a couple of things already cut out just as examples. And I see some you've cut around the design and some, as in your example, just cut squares or cut around the whole image so you can get as creative as we want here. Would you say that jewelry making is now what you do spend most of your time on? Because those necklaces are popular.
Yes, jewelry and painting. Actually, I'm getting more back into painting. I have some friends who are requesting things.
Oh, like what types
So-
of things?
I had a friend who was redoing her room into a beach theme, and she can't afford, again, everything is on a budget nowadays. So I said, well, you know what, I have some canvas, I have some paints, I have a little bit of talent, so let's see what I can do. So
You've
I
got
had,
ingenuity too,
yeah.
which is really, I think, so much of crafting, is to be able to see things like this plain, one might call it a tray or a box or something, and
Yeah.
thinking, I can hang necklaces or do all kinds of things,
Yeah.
which I think is the key.
Yep. So I had painted just on a couple canvas the starfish and some beach themes for her room.
That's nice.
So
And she hung it up?
well,
the canvas?
I have them here,
Oh, on these
show.
canvas, framed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
and then I've painted just some trees, some different wall art. So it's kind of funny. People always want.
Once
like,
they know
okay,
you can
I
do
can't
it,
even- I know.
you've opened up the can of worms.
I know.
You have the talent, the gift.
Yep.
People want it. That's good. That's nice when you can turn your hobby into nice things for family and friends
Yeah.
and a little business too.
It makes great Christmas presents.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. My nieces are all wanting. I want this.
That's
and I
nice.
want that.
Takes a little more time than a gift card, but
Yes.
very much more
Yes.
personal.
Yes.
Much more personal.
You have to plan ahead, for sure.
Well, you can always run to the store for the gift card. The last minute if you need to.
Yeah.
We all know that. Great, I've got the flower theme going here. So is this medium the Mod Podge, the same, we're using it as glue, but also we're using it as the coating that goes on top?
Yes, and it can come in a matte finish, a gloss finish. I believe they make them in a glitter finish as well.
Oh, really? That's fun.
They have a whole selection at your local craft store that you can buy. This is just a matte finish.
And how many coats generally would you put on top, typically?
I would do 2.
2 coats.
Let the one sit, and then do another one a couple days later.
So really,
It takes about 2 weeks. Yeah, it takes about 2 weeks to completely cure.
Okay. So again, can't be the last minute Nelly to do the decoupage project.
No.
And really, you could do this on anything. I mean, I actually recall, I just thought of it as we were working here. I believe it was my niece, who did a bookshelf.
Yes.
And she used fairly large images, so she didn't have to come up with 7,000, things to cut out.
Yeah.
But it looked really neat. She did the back of the shelves in decoupage. It was really, really neat. I actually thought it would be neat to do some strips on the side of paper, possibly. Where did we put all that paper? Oh, here, right on top.
Can I see that scrap of the polka dot?
Yes.
We want to use as much as we can, utilize as much as we can.
I could get very exact and measure my sides, but that would just be too precise. And I see too, while we're working, that you have these little, really they could be anything, but you mentioned them as garden stakes.
Yes.
And
for potted plants or in your garden, if you have a friend or family member who has a garden, you can paint them or decoupage them or chalkboard paint on them and write what it is, tomatoes, peppers, onions, whatever it is in your garden.
I like the chalkboard paint idea. That's great.
Yeah.
I was thinking it would be neat to put an image, if you could find an image
Yes,
of whatever
of a tomato.
or the herb or whatever it is.
Yes.
Well, I guess the herbs might be hard to see what they are, but tomatoes or
Yes.
certainly green beans or something
Yes.
that you had would be easy to see. Or I like the chalkboard paint idea too, and kids could help you write what it is. But those are really cute because I see things like this and I always try to think of just what they are.
Right.
And to get more ideas, and you've got all kinds of wooden things that you can find at the craft store that could be decoupaged. I see you've painted and written some nice sayings and things, holiday things on them. So I know, because I've seen those wooden, the aisles in the craft store that are filled with wooden things, and I always just pass on by because I never know what to do with them.
Yeah.
And now
it's kind of endless if you let your mind.
Well, now I've got this idea of the tray gives you some really good ideas. Now, assuming that I have now finished gluing on all my images, I would take the Mod Podge and go on top, right?
Yes.
Once this glue is dry?
Yes. So that's what we can do that with this one.
Great.
So I'm going to add this little guy because it's really cute. Now,
colors are pretty.
And we'll just put it right about here. Okay. So I'm going to use the bigger brush.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I can use.
Yeah, since I had blue paint on that one.
Yeah, you can use a big flat brush, or or even a bigger one.
Oh, okay, cover more ground.
Cover more ground. You don't even need a real expensive brush. These ones were my tool painting brushes, just a 3/4 inch tool brush or a flat brush.